All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I'm only going to cover two stocks on this video. I'm going to do EBET and AVTX. So EBET, it's funny, I just covered this one and I actually was saying that there was a lot of bad that I saw happening, all right? And lo and behold, it actually goes up 31%, right? So I can see a lot of reason to be excited, but I'll be real honest with you. I am not sure this is sustainable just yet, okay? I will give you my reasons why, but in all honesty, I'm trying to not get distracted and mesmerized by that 31% day, and I'm trying to keep, the realities of the realities that I see in check, right? So that's my opinion on that. AVTX, man, AVTX is such an interesting chart. There's not too much more I can say, all right? It really stresses the importance of confirmation, and it also really shows the difficulty of escaping moving averages once they get really tight, So kind of a continuation of what we've been talking about on that one for a bit, right? But before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts, excuse me. Before I go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There's only one, and it's actually a support line that I drew manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here and giving me your time is super appreciated. So let's get into it. And look, EBET. I know it's really easy to get very distracted by this. Look, if you wrote it, I hope you made all of that money, right? Like that I'm more than happy for you, right? But for me, I see more bad here than good, okay? The one thing I want to call out is this 37 line, and I got to zoom out quite a bit. And if you look, there's nothing here, okay? That 37, if I'm not mistaken, came from, man, I don't know if it was the weekly or if it was a pre-split line. Interesting. Oh, that's real interesting. That's not what I was expecting to see when I got here. Okay, man, I don't know where this line came from then. If you really want to know the truth, my guess might be it's a pre-split line. Nonetheless, you can tell I'm a little shocked in all honesty. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing right there. So what I'm going to do, because I think it's kind of cheating, actually. I'm going to delete that line. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that was pre-split line. So one thing you hear me say often, all right, is when a stock falls pretty far from the 8 moving average, it'll want to come back up. Okay, we've actually seen that a number of times here. This is a good little view. We go away, we go back. All right, we actually get to it and we'll talk about the 20 later. We go away, we go back. We go away, we go back. We go away, we go back, right? Like all I'm really seeing is us go away, us come back. Do I believe we're going to break this 8 moving average sitting at 64 cents? I don't. I have more reason to believe we will not than we will. And end of the day, it's a little bit of like a historical thing that I'm looking at, right? We just came off a reverse split. We just lost a bunch of moving averages. We've been struggling with the 8 moving average before this little moment here with the 20 and the 50. I think this is behind us and we're now just kind of going back to what we're used to. You know what I mean? So for me, I think there's a reason to maybe think this can actually gain another 10 cents. And hey, a 1 out of 5, that's a 20% move right there, right? You're basically adding another 10 cents on a stock that has 5 dimes, right? So there is a nice little double-digit gain if it goes up there. That said, I have to give a little more respect to the 8 moving average than I will this 31% day. The other thing I'm going to call out, look, we've seen little spikes of volume only to kind of lose it, right? We've seen big spikes to only lose it, right? So I still have no, and let me just zoom out again just to kind of look. Yeah, there's nothing worth back there, but yeah, I haven't seen one big volume pop and then another bigger one. Like that didn't happen there, that didn't happen there, it didn't even happen there, right? So I have to kind of assume for now that we're going to repeat ourselves unless the stock decides to really, really tell me, listen, if we can close over the 8 moving average, I would love to ride this from like roughly 70 to like 90 something, if not all the way up to even like $1.30. Yeah, that's a nice move. For now, I see a really big wall right here at this 64.65. I do. And hey, if it gets over the wall, I'll run with it. Otherwise, I'm assuming we're going to do what we've done. Go down, go up, go down. All right? And the problem really is if we go up, if we go down, go up, and then go down again, what are we going to do? This stock is going down the black hole abyss of all-time lows. You don't want to go down into all-time lows. There is now a line I'm going to draw off of this day. This is now the new all-time low support line. There's a chance that this might come down to 45. Looks like this needs to go down a penny real quick. Let me actually take that down a penny. There's a chance this comes down to like 45, 46. I can see that if it's a bad day. Otherwise, like I said, I think it's going to go up to 64, 65. It's going to continue, but I got no reason. Again, MACD is actually still in the negative. Yeah, it looks like the down is kind of starting to flatten, but I still see the red going down. I still see the red going down on the RSI line. I still see actually the green kind of diverging down the wrong way. I see more bad on this than good. I see a single day, and I'm not here to get excited or make emotional moves off a single day, all right? Wait for confirmation, and for me, more than anything, let's break that 8 and give me a reason to believe we're coming here. Listen, I'm not here to believe that we're going to get over this $1.25. I think those two lines will be very, very difficult. You can already see we've been struggling with the 50 even relatively recently, right? So, yeah, I think that's a good EBET on the daily. Where are we on the weekly? All right, look, 122. All right, again, you go away from the 8, you come to the 8. You go away, you come to it, right? Maybe we've gone away and we want to come to it. This thing's signaling 120. This thing is somewhat, it's not really signaling it yet, but hey, if we can get over this, I think the signal will be better. So EBET, it's an interesting one. I think today is not enough though, all right? AVTX. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe, that would be much, much appreciated, all right? So let's get into it. Look, again, listen, one of the big things I talk about with technical analysis is we're not here playing roulette. All right, the little plastic ball that spins around on roulette does not remember if it's hit 50 reds in a row. There is still the same 50-50 chance that it'll be red or black, you know, minus the couple green colors, right? I sincerely believe a stock is different. I sincerely believe these 4 letters remember the fact that it can't break this red line. We get over it once, can't do it the next day. We get over it once, can't do it the next day. Over it once, can't do it the next day. Over it once, can't do it the next day. Over it once, can't do it the next day. Over it once, can't do it the next day. Do you see a pattern here? Like, I am not here hoping bad things happen here, all right? You gotta know that if you're watching any of my videos, all right? That said, I'm not here pretending or assuming good things for sure will happen, all right? Now, I'm starting to hear some really interesting things about this stock. I sincerely appreciate all the like fundamental news people share with me as I'm giving you my technical thoughts, right? I think it's a beautiful little two-way street we've grown here, all right? It sounds like there's some interesting things happening here. It sounds like the reason that this dropped is in the process of being handled, right? It sounds like some drug failed. Looks like they're gonna give that to someone. Like I'm seeing some interesting things, all right? That said, for me, the news that I read means absolutely nothing until the lines agree, all right? And this, I'm telling you, I see a stock knocking on the door. I see a stock that, like, man, the way it works is break the 8, go to the 20, break the 20, go to the 50, break the 50 and run to the hunt. Like, I see why everyone is looking here and everyone wants it. I know that it wasn't that long ago we were only at like 2 million shares on average. Now we're averaging a little closer to like 70. What? Like, there is some sincere interest. There's some sincere stuff happening here. Nothing matters until the 50 moving average is a thing of the past. And all I know is I'm seeing a stock that can't go above it 2 days in a row, good enough for me to say finally. All right. And the moral of the story, again, you know, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money, right? Like, you know that. But I think the moral of the story that I try to stress is raise your criteria level. And look, end of the day, in a lot of ways, we're only talking about a penny, right? Like 17 to 14, it's not a drastic drop necessarily. Hey, this 20 to 14 might have been, right? And for sure, this one to down here, right? Like, you know, I think if you're hunting it now, at least you're in a good little like window. But end of the day, a penny is roughly a full 10%, right? So, you know, double digit numbers aren't something to just poo-poo really quickly. You know what I mean? So right now, the moral of the story is make me believe this 50 moving average is a thing of the past. I think it's 16 cents. How close are we to 17? Man, yeah, I think it's 16. I think if we can get into the 16s really well, that should do us nicely. Yeah. Last time, these 3 lines are super tight, all right? And whenever there's multiple lines, generally 3 or more, I call it a horizontal cluster, because all you end up doing is kind of going horizontal. And then sometimes you go really high up, really low down, really high up, really low down. And at the end of the day, you end up just kind of staying horizontal. I call it's like a tornado. It really is. You have no idea why you just got pulled back in and down. And then you really have no idea why you just got saved and pulled back up. And like it's a scary trade, unless because this thing's either gonna rocket up or rocket down. Like, the slingshot is being spun right now. Hopefully it's thrown well and it goes up instead of thrown poorly, hits you in the eye, and now you're blind. You get what I'm saying, right? So I don't think the weekly matters too much here. Ooh, I take that back as I say that. We're still working our way up. Damn, so I was looking up here. I just caught myself looking down here. Volume's definitely going down. That's definitely less than ideal. The one good thing is, hey, we're still at least over the white line. So end of the day, you know, I do like that. And hey, it's still super, super early in the week, right? So there are plenty more days in the week. Hopefully we can kind of keep going, right? But man, the attention is here. Even just looking at this weekly view, even with volume going down, more people are still holding. Yeah, volume's going down, but at least it's not going up with a dump off of set. Like a couple more of these would start to get me worried, right? But for now, there's actually more people holding this. They're just not buying more yet, because it makes sense. I think, and look, even if you wait for the 20 break, obviously I was just kind of giving 16, 17, man, a couple more. Going from 20 to 35 is a monster percent, all right? So just a couple things for perspective. But yeah, my eyes are on this one for sure. So let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, you know it. Hey, I appreciate you so much.